Welcome to the Daily Globe. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The South China Sea, a vital artery for global trade, is more than just a passage for ships. It's the lifeblood of economies across Asia and beyond. Every year, trillions of dollars worth of goods flow through these waters, making it one of the most strategically important regions on the planet. Now, this crucial waterway is once again the epicenter of a great power struggle, as rival navies maneuver for dominance and control. A landmark energy pact between the Philippines and the United States has sparked hope in Manila and Washington, but outrage in Beijing. The agreement promises new opportunities for energy exploration and development, but it also risks inflaming old rivalries. In response, Chinese warships and Coast Guard vessels are already mobilizing, raising tensions across the Indo-Pacific and sending a clear message that Beijing will not back down easily. For years, the Philippines' offshore resources, oil, gas, and fisheries, have been blocked by Chinese patrols, leaving Filipino fishermen and energy workers frustrated and anxious about their future. Now with U.S. backing, Manila is making a bold move to secure its energy future and assert its rights in these contested waters, signaling a new era of cooperation between the two allies. China, claiming vast swaths of these waters under its controversial 9-dash line, sees this as a direct challenge to its sovereignty and regional ambitions. The stage is set for a confrontation that could redefine regional security, with flashpoints emerging where rival ships and interests collide. On one side stands the Philippines, striving for energy independence and economic security, now backed by the formidable might of the United States. On the other, China, determined to enforce its sweeping claims and resist what it sees as growing American influence in its backyard. This pact is more than a commercial deal. It's a symbol of deepening strategic alignment against Beijing, and a signal that the balance of power in the region may be shifting. As the situation escalates, the world watches with bated breath, aware that this long-simmering dispute could threaten to ignite into open conflict, one with consequences far beyond the South China Sea. The South China Sea has always been contested, its rich resources and shipping lanes coveted for centuries. Today, China's 9-dash line claim clashes with those of the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines, invalidating China's sweeping claims. Beijing rejected the ruling, continuing its island building and aggressive patrols. Philippine attempts to explore for oil and gas have been blocked by Chinese vessels, undermining Manila's sovereignty and economic prospects. The U.S. regularly conducts freedom of navigation operations, challenging China's claims, but changing little on the ground. Despite international support, the Philippines has remained unable to exercise its rights. China's grip on the South China Sea has only tightened. Under President Marcos Jr., the Philippines shifted from courting Beijing to strengthening its alliance with the U.S.-Chinese encroachment in the West Philippine Sea, pushed Manila to seek a more robust security partner. In 2024, high-level meetings led to a landmark energy cooperation agreement, focusing on joint exploration and technology transfer. The U.S. signaled strong support, and the Philippines welcomed it, despite China's backlash. By July 2025, a comprehensive trade agreement further cemented the alliance, offering Manila preferential access to the U.S. market. President Trump praised Marcos Jr. as a strong partner, framing the deals as mutually beneficial for business and stability. The U.S.-Philippines alliance transformed from a legacy treaty into an active partnership. The message, America, is now an engaged economic and security partner, ready to stand with the Philippines against Beijing. The Philippines-U.S. Strategic Energy and Resources Pact, signed in September 2025, authorizes joint oil and gas exploration within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, especially in areas blocked by China. This bold move signals a new era of cooperation between Manila and Washington, directly challenging Beijing's maritime claims and asserting Philippine rights over its own resources. The agreement is seen as a turning point in the region's energy politics, with both countries determined to secure access to vital reserves. U.S. energy firms will partner with the Philippine National Oil Company, protected under the Mutual Defense Treaty, raising the stakes. This security guarantee means that any threat to joint operations could trigger a U.S. response, making the South China Sea a potential flashpoint. The collaboration is expected to bring in billions in investment and create thousands of jobs, while also sending a strong message to regional rivals. President Marcos Jr. called the deal a historic step toward energy security and sovereignty. He emphasized that the pact would reduce the country's dependence on foreign energy and empower the Philippines to chart its own economic future. The announcement was met with widespread approval from business leaders and the public alike. The agreement includes U.S. technology transfer and investment in renewables, aligning with Manila's climate goals. American companies will help build new solar, wind, and geothermal projects, supporting the Philippines' transition to cleaner energy. This partnership is expected to accelerate the country's shift away from coal and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The July 2025 trade pact boosts Philippine exports to the U.S., but imposes a 19% tariff on many goods, while Manila lowers tariffs on American products. The deal opens new markets for Philippine agriculture and electronics, but also exposes local industries to increased competition from U.S. imports. Economists say the agreement could reshape trade flows in Southeast Asia. This trade-off rebalances the relationship in Washington's favor, reflecting President Trump's America First policy. U.S. negotiators secured key concessions, ensuring American businesses gain greater access to the Philippine market. The move has sparked debate in Manila over the long-term impact on local industries and jobs. For Washington, the pacts are a strategic masterstroke, strengthening military ties and building a coalition to counter China. Joint military exercises and intelligence sharing are set to increase, deepening the alliance and enhancing regional security. The agreements are widely viewed as a direct response to China's growing assertiveness in the South China Sea. President Trump emphasized the economic and military benefits, calling it a tremendous deal for both nations. He highlighted the potential for job creation, energy independence, and a stronger security partnership, framing the agreements as a win-win for both countries. These agreements are part of a larger U.S. strategy to lock in alliances through tangible economic benefits. By tying economic growth to security cooperation, Washington aims to build a durable network of partners across Asia, ensuring long-term influence in the region. The region is now on edge as the U.S. and Philippines move forward. With new agreements in place, both countries face heightened expectations and risks as they navigate a rapidly changing geopolitical landscape in the Asia-Pacific. Beijing's response was swift and furious. The Chinese Foreign Ministry condemned the pact as a violation of sovereignty and a dangerous provocation. China increased its naval and coast guard presence near disputed areas, signaling its resolve to block joint exploration. State media accused the U.S. of using the Philippines as a pawn in a new Cold War. China launched a propaganda campaign to isolate Manila and justify its actions as defensive. Diplomatic fallout followed protests, ambassador recalls, and heightened regional alert. Other claimants like Vietnam and Malaysia watch with concern, wary of being drawn into a superpower clash. The region braces for escalation. The pact has redrawn the Indo-Pacific's geopolitical map. The U.S.-Philippines alliance is now a proactive partnership, giving Manila a powerful security guarantee. U.S. military presence in the Philippines will increase, with more joint patrols and exercises in the South China Sea. The Mutual Defense Treaty now covers commercial activities, deterring Chinese interference but raising the risk of conflict. Other ASEAN nations see both opportunity and danger, a template for resisting China, but also the risk of a U.S.-China proxy war. Internal debates intensify over whether to align with Washington or remain neutral. For the U.S., the pact is a victory in its strategy of integrated deterrence. By linking economic and military commitments, Washington is building a resilient coalition. The Philippines deal could be a model for other regional alliances. Beijing sees this as a containment strategy, heightening its fears of encirclement. For the Philippines, the Energy Pact promises a path to self-sufficiency and economic transformation. The South China Sea's untapped resources could lower energy costs and boost government revenue. But development is risky and slow, dependent on stability and freedom from Chinese harassment. U.S. companies may hesitate to invest if conflict looms, making the economic boom uncertain. The trade deal offers new export opportunities but also imposes tariffs that could hurt some Filipino industries. Lower tariffs on U.S. goods may threaten local farmers and manufacturers. The net benefit for ordinary Filipinos is hotly debated. Regionally, the pact could shift investment and trade, dividing ASEAN and undermining economic integration. Nations aligning with the U.S. may benefit while others risk being left behind. Southeast Asia's economic landscape is becoming more fragmented and competitive. Experts agree the pact is a game changer, but its risks are enormous. The agreement aims to reshape the geopolitical landscape of the South China Sea, a region already fraught with tension and historical disputes. Dr. Evelyn Tran notes that linking energy exploration to the Mutual Defense Treaty could deter China, but also raises the stakes. She emphasizes that while this could provide a strategic advantage, it also makes the situation more volatile. China may see this as an existential threat, increasing the risk of miscalculation. The presence of military forces in such close proximity could lead to unintended confrontations. Dr. David Lee warns that nationalist pressure could push Beijing to act forcefully, making any incident a potential flashpoint. The Chinese government faces internal pressures that could influence its foreign policy decisions. The margin for error is now razor thin. Diplomatic efforts must be precise and calculated to avoid escalation. Energy consultant Marcus Vance sees real potential for Philippine energy independence, but cautions that development will take years and requires stability. The economic benefits are clear, but the path to achieving them is fraught with challenges. No company will invest billions if war is a real risk. The financial stakes are high and the uncertainty makes investors wary. The Pact offers the Philippines a path to prosperity but places it at the center of a superpower showdown. The nation must navigate its alliances carefully to maximize benefits while minimizing risks. Success depends more on diplomacy than geology. The ability to negotiate and maintain peace will be crucial in determining the outcome. The hope, clear red lines will stabilize the region. These boundaries are intended to prevent misunderstandings and maintain order. The fear, they'll become tripwires for a conflict the world cannot afford. Any misstep could lead to a larger, uncontrollable conflict. The stakes have never been higher. The world watches closely, hoping for a peaceful resolution in a region critical to global stability. As of September 2025, the South China Sea is a tinderbox. The world awaits the first joint U.S.-Philippine survey. Its location and escort will send a powerful message. China's response will set the crisis's trajectory. This is a test for the international rules-based order, will law or force prevail. If China blocks the Philippines, it sets a dangerous global precedent. If the pact succeeds, it could inspire others, but at the risk of escalation. For Filipinos, the stakes are personal prosperity or peril, depending on the outcome. The government has made a high-risk bet on its U.S. alliance. The outcome will shape millions of lives. Energy, economy, and security hang in the balance. Cool-headed diplomacy is needed to prevent disaster. The world is watching as the storm gathers over the South China Sea.